Hey folks, Colin Richards here. I'm Denver's Biblical Investment Advisor, and I'm excited to be with you today talking about methods that you can use to prosper through both good times and bad. I'd love to chat with you and hear from you today and discuss your specific questions. Give us a call at 720-372-0400. Again, that's 720-372-0400. And today our topic is the path to financial independence. The path to financial independence. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is Colin Richards. I'm Denver's Biblical Investment Advisor, and today we're going to talk about the path to financial independence. When I talk about financial independence, I know a variety of things may be coming to your mind. And particularly those of you who might be entrepreneurs, there's the idea of being able to build a business or to have that kind of freedom where you can walk away. But, at its root, financial independence simply means, or financial freedom if you prefer, the ability to do and accomplish all that you want to in life and not be limited or held back by money, right? So for some of you, that kind of financial independence might be going on right now. You're enjoying your work. It's not a drudgery, and you're not necessarily counting the days till you step away. And you're free financially to pursue the goals and dreams that you have with your family. Then for others, it's going to mean being able to step away from that job or step away from that business and achieve really a second tier of financial independence. That ability to never feel the need to go out and have to generate income through work. The ability to step away from the job, to step away from the business, and yet still be able to pursue your passions. See, for us at Lord & Richards, our gifted team of advisors is equipped to guide you on the path towards financial independence in both the first and the second tier. Right now you might be younger and you might be saving, you might be preparing for the future, and hopefully you're enjoying life now. We can help you, our team can help you to put together a financial strategy, a plan that allows you to not only live within your means and save and be diligent with regard to the future, but also hopefully to show you ways that you can do even more now with the people that you love, for the places that you want to go, and for the God that you serve. Because it all comes down to being a great steward of the resources that God has put in our hands. At Lord & Richards, we have biblical principles that underpin everything that we share with our clients. Our philosophy at its core is biblical because it starts with principle number 1, and you'll find this on our website, lordandrichards.com. Principle number 1, fear the Lord. The Bible says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and we're not here talking primarily about shaking your knees kind of fear. We're talking about reverential awe for God. And a Christian who lives his life in that light is going to want to position himself to be able to do the most good and to spend the most time with people possible, both during the working years and during the retirement years. So tier number 1 of financial independence doesn't necessarily mean stepping away from the job yet. It just means making sure beyond your career you feel happy, fulfilled, and spending time with those you love, doing the things that you love. Tier number 2 of financial independence is being able to step away from the job and dedicate your entire life to the enjoyment of the people, the causes, and the relationships that are most important to you. And above all, keeping God in the center, being able to fulfill His kingdom's objectives with our life and with our resources and with our finances. So what does that look like? You might say, Colin, that sounds great. Maybe you don't feel yet whether that's a real possibility for you, or maybe you think it might be, but you'd love to have some confirmation. Well, if that's you, I'd love to talk to you. Pick up the phone and give us a call at 720-372-0400. And let's find out if you're positioned properly to enjoy financial independence now and that ultimate tier later. 720-372-0400. Now let's go on and talk about that path. And I want to start with a story of somebody I just met with this week and thoroughly enjoyed getting to know. This client, Cindy, had recently been divorced. Unfortunately, her husband of many years walked away. and left her really struggling to know, what am I supposed to do next? He was always the one who took care of things. Does that sound familiar? There's usually one spouse, one member of the two-member team that will take care of things like finances and investments and planning and preparing for the future. And many times there may be one larger income upon which the family is basing its decisions about budgeting and finance. And so Cindy was terrified, literally, scared that stepping out into this new world with limited resources and the need to retire now, that she was going to be left in a terrible position and the absolute opposite of financially independent. She was worried she'd be forced to work and to do other things that might keep her from enjoying this stage of life. So a tough time. And as we sat and listened together to Cindy's story, our hearts just went out together. And we always meet as a team of advisors with our clients because we want you to know that we care enough to devote the maximum resources possible to helping you put together a plan. We call it a roadmap to financial independence, to get on that path. And so we'll meet as a team with our highly credentialed team of advisors. We have certified tax specialists. We have CPA. We want to be there, and we want to provide those resources so that you have the security to make great financial decisions going forward. So as we met together, our hearts really went out to Cindy. And Cindy loves the Lord and wants to do his will, but yet she feels very much insecure about the current economic situation. How wonderful it was to be able to sit down with Cindy this week and walk her through what I'm going to share with you today are the most important steps you could ever take in order to become truly financially independent at that second tier level. In other words, if you work, it's only because you want to, not because you have to. For some of you, you'll be able to, quote, retire early. Some of you will retire later. But it doesn't matter. When the time comes when you step away from that job, we don't want fear to dominate. We want the fear of the Lord to be the only kind of fear in your life. So that principle number one is so important. That Christian principle of fearing the Lord and reverencing him is so important to beginning to make wise plans about finance, because that is the beginning of wisdom. So we sat down together with Cindy as a team, and we were able to share with her some wonderful news. And I want to talk to you about the process that we follow when we sit down with our clients and learn about your goals, your dreams, and what financial independence would truly look like for you. If you're just tuning in, this is Colin Richards. I'm Denver's Biblical Investment Advisor. I'm excited to lead a gifted team, a robust team of investment advisors at Lord & Richards. We serve clients, hundreds of them across the Front Range, and now from Florida all the way to Hawaii, because our clients just won't sit still. They got to move. So if you'd like to chat with us, we offer a complimentary second opinion. Just pick up the phone, give us a call, have a warm, enjoyable conversation with a member of our gifted, godly team of investment advisors, and we'll help you get on the path to financial independence. The number is 720-372-0400. Again, write this down, 720-372-0400. And we'd love to chat with you. So let's start with how our clients are able to share with us. We sit down in a beautiful office here in Denver, overlooking the fantastic skyline of Denver, as well as the Front Range mountains, looking through our windows. It's a warm, wonderful environment, made more beautiful by the people that I have the privilege of working with every single day. And in that environment, we'll listen to you. We'll sit down and talk to you and ask questions and let you share your heart. Colin, financial independence means this to me, and it means spending time with these people or doing these things with these causes or with my church or whatever it looks like to you. You're going to have the opportunity. And by the way, sometimes this is the first time people have ever shared this with someone, because nobody ever asks to tell us exactly what your perfect world looks like in financial independence, or retirement, as some people call it. By the way, I prefer the term financial independence because it just sounds like you're moving as opposed to nailed to a chair. So if you want to be financial independent, it starts by talking to somebody who knows how to get you there. At Lord & Richards, we're coaches, we're guides. People who work with us are looking for the collective wisdom and experience, which amounts to decades of wisdom and experience in this field, and having guided others before you through that process right to the end. I have had the joy of sitting down with my clients' children who are just getting started really in life, maybe just graduated college or high school and want to know, hey, Colin, or sometimes they'll call me Mr. Richards, what do I need to do to get on the right path so that one day I can be financially independent? All the way to the other end, where I've had the joy and privilege of holding my clients' hands as they slip out into eternity. And that's a privilege, and it's a blessing to be able to span this great life with people both young and old, and every single one of them to take your hand and to guide you step by step to the next place. We're probably not the right people for someone who wants to build their own financial house here. We can certainly give you tips and advice, but you see, we're professionals. And by professional, I don't mean we do this for a living. I mean that we have adopted a professional mindset, which means we are going to do this at the highest level possible for our client. This is not going to be some slipshod, thrown together scrap of paper with a few clever ideas on it. What we're talking about when we produce a financial independence roadmap is a tool that will be updated and revised through the entirety of your life in our relationship together to reflect the changing goals and challenges of retirement, and that will be used to point you from today through the rest of your life to the correct path to follow so you never have to worry about money again. Wouldn't that feel nice? Wouldn't that be good? Well, we'd love to chat with you about it. Give us a call, 720-372-0400. The topic today, the path to financial independence. And we're talking about what meeting up to discuss that topic looks like and feels like, and what you get to share and how you get to be able to paint a picture of your ideal retirement world. Give us a call, 720-372-0400, or check us out at lordandrichards.com. So after you've shared this detail about yourself, maybe your family, your future goals, we're going to walk you through a process. We're going to agree together to walk through a process that has as its end financial independence. It starts with no obligation whatsoever. Our goal here isn't to try to rope you into something. It's to get to know you and then express to you through the collective wisdom and experience and years of advice that's been offered by our team the most efficient and the most enjoyable path to achieve that. So let me give you a few key insights that need to be a part of this. And I want you to, if you're somewhere where you can write this down, I want you to write them down. Because whether you ever meet with us or talk about this with us or not, we want you to be prepared. And especially you folks who serve the Lord, we want you to be equipped to do more for the kingdom and for His cause. So here we have a few key principles and rules, and if you're a regular on this show, you know exactly what this looks like. So in our visit together, we're going to simply ask you, do you have a written plan in place to make sure that you're never devastated by the next market crash or the next serious decline in the value of your portfolio? You know, there are so many people who are really just getting started saving. And at the beginning of the process, we tend to look to automation, our 401k, or we look to, very simple ways of accumulating money because that's obviously the need. Hey, Colin, I want to put money aside for the future, therefore I'm going to save. And that starts with saving. Fully 77% of Americans say they have financial worries, but only 40% of them have any kind of spending or investment plan. Literally 1 in 3 baby boomers. Now, this is the generation that's starting to retire now. 1 in 3 has less than $1,000 saved. Holy cow. If that's you, we got to talk right away, okay? We need to get the savings going. But throughout our lives, we're taught to accumulate. And it's not hard to know where to go, right? Where are you going to go to accumulate your money? Well, we're going to place that in the stock market. Maybe our 401k makes that decision for us, or maybe there's a few of you who've managed that on your own. The vast majority of folks are going to underperform that market who manage it on their own. It's just a fact. Dalbar publishes a study annually called the Quantitative Analysis of Investment Behavior or Investor Behavior. And in that study, it's almost a study that they could just photocopy each year because the results are so similar. Year after year, as I peruse the pages and the conclusions of that report, we've learned that Americans on average earn less than 1/3 to 1/2 of the market's upside. You say, what is causing that? I mean, couldn't you just drop it in there and forget about it? Sure. But number one, most people are not fully invested in just the stock market. They may have bonds. They may have other types of investments that pull back the performance with the idea of being diversified. Nothing wrong with that. But you just got to realize almost nobody I talk to is outperforming the market because you're not fully in it. But let's say you are fully in it. Well, there's another problem. If you're managing that yourself, we have a horrible time figuring out when to buy and when to sell. Have you ever asked yourself, when is the right time to sell? When is the right time to buy? Well, yeah, the old adage, buy low, right? Sell high. But how do you know you're low? And how do you know you're high on a fluid and rapidly changing continuum? You don't. And so here's the problem. Those who time to market tend to get less than the market's full potential. And those of you who said, yeah, I threw myself in there, I never touch it, and I'm doing what I'm told, and so I'm not pulling it out at the wrong time, you're still getting less than the full return of the market because you're diversified if you're smart and wise. And why is that? Well, because the market giveth and the market taketh away. Does it not? If you're just jumping in, this is Colin Richards, and I'm Denver's Biblical Investment Advisor. As a matter of fact, I lead a team of Biblical Investment Advisors at Lord & Richards, and we have clients across the country, but we're focused right here on our clients across the Front Range. And we love to talk to folks every single day, every day, about how to become financially independent. And that's what we're talking about today. The title of the show, The Path to Financial Independence. And if you'd like to learn more, give us a call. It's 720-372-0400. Again, that's 720-372-0400. And we'll sit down with you and we'll take you through a journey, a process that will lead you on a path to financial independence. Give us a call, 720-372-0400. So the question I ask, and that I ask everyone that I meet with after we learn your goals, and I'm just describing to you what happens when we sit down to provide wisdom and counsel. And that's what you're there for. Trust me, you're not there to buy a financial product. That may be involved in your financial plan, but that should not be the first thing we talk about. The first thing we need to talk about is the goal so we can develop a plan to achieve it, no matter what products or strategies are used. So do you have a written plan to make sure you avoid the devastating losses of the next market downturn? Because will the market turn down? Will it do it significantly at some point during your retirement? Will it do it repeatedly throughout your retirement? Well, if history is any guide, the market regularly goes through cycles that include not only bull or up markets, but also bear or down markets. And do we want to be prepared for those, or do we simply want to react to them in the moment? Well, let's think about military strategy. What's the best plan? To bring all your ships over to the enemy and see what happens? No, I don't think we want to do that. I think what we want to do is have a plan, a method of attack to minimize losses. But most of us have been taught only one side of the equation, how to accumulate, but we haven't learned the second side, how to protect, and then how to distribute, which we'll talk about more in a minute. So as I was sharing with you, no study of American investment behavior has awarded the average American investor with the title of beating the market on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, The quintessential study on the subject, Dalbar's quantitative analysis of investor behavior, teaches us over and over again the average person, due to timing problems, being in the wrong investments, or just being diversified, is getting less than 1/2 to 1/3 of the market. So if we're already getting that, is there a way that we can protect our portfolio and yet still get moderate returns? Because we shouldn't be expecting average annual performance of 12 to 20%. I know there are people on the radio who tell you to expect that, but that's absolutely incorrect unless you take an inordinate amount of risk with your money. You say, well, I've got time. How much time do you have? Do you remember the last market decline, 2008? Do you remember the one before that? If you study the performance of the S&P 500 from 2000 to 2013, the index was flat. Literally. Were there great years in between? Absolutely. Did you get just those and discard all the bad years? No. You took the bad with the good. But what if I could show you a way to put a floor under your feet and to have some of the dollars in your portfolio completely protected against downside losses during major market declines? Did you even know that was possible? Well, we all know that's possible because we can put our money in the bank ostensibly and get FDIC insured protection, right? But did you know it's possible for us to implement into your portfolio a clear way to avoid, on a portion of the dollars, serious or any losses during market declines, depending on the need of the money and what it needs to be used for? I've told you many times that market-linked certificates of deposit are just one example of how to do this, not necessarily the choice for every plan or every client. But having been around since 1987, they have a proven track record, and they regularly deliver to clients returns that have the potential to exceed those boring returns that we're getting down at the bank from traditional CDs, right? 1 to 2%, depending on length. But it's possible to double, triple, quadruple those returns or those interest rates by merely linking safely to an external stock market with the CD instead of accepting the fixed rate. Most of us haven't been apprised of that. And so when I tell people it's possible to put a floor under your feet and to avoid market declines while still having the opportunity to participate in market increases, and folks tell me that's impossible, I can point to an already existing 30-plus-year-old strategy. That's just one. And it's certainly not going to be right for everybody, but it may be right for you. So we don't know what we don't know. And so what we want to talk about is the path to financial independence, beginning with risk management. Do you have a clear plan in place to avoid major stock market declines when they come? And is it written out? And can you show it in a way that makes sense to you? Because sometimes we're told things by well-meaning advisors or friends and so forth, and we discover later that that may not necessarily be true. For example, I've met with people who owned variable annuities that would allow you to lose money, but that were told that they could not lose money. Well, there certainly are kinds of annuities that allow you to invest in a way that your principal is protected, but the vast majority of variable annuities do not fit in that category. So what they're told is a representation that's incorrect. See, we want to dig deep into that portfolio of yours and uncover the truth about the real amount of risk that you're carrying. We do that through a free complimentary report that we provide to everyone we meet with on your portfolio called a stress test. And in that stress test, we'll begin at the beginning. Where are you today and where do you want to go? If today you're telling us, Colin, I don't want to take a lot of risk, and your portfolio reflects it, you'll be able to see that. Or if you're telling us, Colin, I'm comfortable with risk, but at this level, we'll be able to diagnose whether the portfolio is within that tolerance level. And if not, to provide simple, straightforward strategies to get back on track. So we've begun a conversation called The Path to Financial Independence. And we've really described the whole process that allowed us to sit down with our wonderful new client, Cindy, this week and allow her to walk out of that meeting with peace of mind and a clear path. Do you have that? we would love to provide that to you. This is Colin Richards. I'm Denver's Biblical Investment Advisor. You can reach us right now at 720-372-0400. Again, it's 720-372-0400. Let us show you the path to financial independence. 720-372-0400.